Alright, we're out at the home of Robert and Janet Craig. I actually ended up meeting with them, again, it's probably a couple years ago, and just weren't ready at the time, had some other stuff come up, but we're finally ready to get going on the project. So it's a beautiful home out here off of 151, kind of close to SeaWorld. Nice, very nice neighborhood here. And what we're doing is basically, they had some Hardie installed, and it was done by different people, you can tell just because of the installation. But we're going to clean some things up. We're going to do some things that they didn't do. But basically not too much Hardie to installation to speak of. It's a lot of paint. And we are doing a fascia. We're doing Hardie fascia overlay and drip edge replacement. So that's going to be all done as part of our project. We do have some gutters here. We're going to use Chris McClendon from Long Run to take down and put up the gutters that are existing, so we can get to that fascia and drip edge. On the right side of the home here, that's pretty much all we got. There's a small atrium off the master, which only has access through the house. That needs to be painted, and there's a couple windows and a door in there that need to be trimmed. But other than that, the fascia overlay and the drip edge replacement will take place in that little atrium. But other than that, on the right side here, it is a garden home, so we have a zero lot, and nobody's... I don't know, this house is for lease, but we said Mr. Craig said we'd have no problem getting access to the backyard. But that's all we got here on the right side is some gutter work, taking those down and reinstalling them, and then our fascia and drip edge. We added this into the proposal. We are going to paint both garage doors, and we're going to wrap both garage door frames. We'll reinstall the keypad right there. And he also requested that this gable vent, that we just retrim that in Hardie, and then paint that, of course. Again, we got the Hardie already on the porch, on the front porch, on the sidewalls. It is the Colonial Rough Sawn. And again, some places they did a butt to, some they didn't, so it just tells me that there were definitely different installers on this. But... so all that is staying. We're going to power wash that down. We're going to paint it using the same paint process. But all this, the front door, the side light, and the big transom, they all need to be retrimmed in Hardie plank. There's just wood up there, and all that trim needs to be Hardie. The existing siding, however, all of that is staying. Porch ceiling up top, throw a coat of paint on that. And then one request Mr. Craig had was that we just haul this ramp away. Throw it in the back of the truck. We won't need a dumpster on this job, so we can just kind of take it as it is, throw it in the truck, and get rid of it for him. Very little soffit, as you can see. It's a 6-inch soffit. There's some 1.75-inch soffit around the back side, but everywhere else it's pretty much a 1.5 soffit or less. There's some small gutter up there and some gutter here that will need to come down and be reinstalled. And then coming over here to the left side, kind of the same thing. Our fascia, and we're going to have to be real careful of this corner. There's some of those red wasps, I think, living up in there. So this little area I'm seeing here, just a bunch of them flying in and out. So we're going to have to be careful. I'll let Mr. Craig know about that and maybe get a pest person out here. So we don't want to be dealing with that. So these windows here, again, the siding, and the siding up on that front-facing wall. On this side and this wall, it's all the Colonial Rough Sawn. However, this trim down below is Hardie. The half-round trim is not. So basically from here up, trim, Hardie trim, everything else we'll leave, we'll caulk and seal and paint. So that's pretty much our scope of work here. This interior corner trim right there, that needs to become Hardie. You can see it's already rotten. And same thing with that 1x4 run right up there. That needs to be Hardie plank as well. These corner trim pieces right here are not Hardie. They're rotting already. So that needs to be taken off and installed. Hardie 1x4 will happen there. This window box is not Hardie. So this window as well as the window box needs to be done in the Hardie plank. We will use, it's smooth right now on this one. This box they did do. And it's a cedar mill board. So we just need probably 1 or 2 sheets tops of the cedar mill 4x8, and then we can wrap this window box. This fascia and drip edge will all be done. You can see the window trim there that's rotten, so that will all become Hardie plank. We're wrapping all windows and doors on the home, including the couple windows and door and the atrium off the master that I mentioned earlier. So all of this, again, needs to be wrapped in Hardie, windows all trimmed. The cable, we're going to go ahead and leave the dish, but these cables we can tear down and take off the house. They screwed the dish right through the roof, so we don't want to take that down. That needs to be done by a roofer. But the cables, coax and all that, we'll pull down and get rid of it. Meters in brick, so no problem there. Here you can see now the box, the actual window box, was done in Hardie, as we can see clearly. However, this little 1x2 is not Hardie, so we need to retrim these windows, this double set of windows, including that center post, and have that all become Hardie. And this piece here, that joining piece, it looks like a 1x4 cut down. You can see it's rotten right here. So that needs to become Hardie as well, just so we don't have any further rot issues coming on. You can see, like, here's just what tells me that there was different people. This corner trim was done correctly with a butt to. That is a Hardie trim. Actually, no, it's not a Hardie trim, so that corner trim needs to be replaced. This window trim is not Hardie trim, but you can see they did a butt to here, but then on the windows and some other corners down here, they did an overlay on the corners. So it's just different folks doing this. All the wires are staying here, as we can see those. So again, fascia overlay, drip edge replacement everywhere. That window trim is needing to be replaced with Hardie trim. All this will stay on the chimney. They did use Hardie trim on the chimney, so we'll caulk that all up, paint it, and make it look all nice. We ran out of space, but we're good now. So all this existing Hardie cedar colonial roughs on will be painted. We're painting all that just the way we would if we installed it. Again, this capping around the windows, of course the fascia, that top piece is Hardie. So the freeze board here is Hardie. This little capping, little apron above the window is not. So that's the place that we need. So that's the last little bit of fascia and drip edge there all the way down to the corner, and then we talked about the atrium off the master on that right side, and that's about it. But we're going to match the colors close to what's existing. We're going to see if we have some paint cans we can use for numbers. Soffit is all getting pressure washed and painted, just like the front porch ceiling and all the existing Hardie. But that's pretty much our scope of work. Really appreciate you guys trusting us with the business, and we look forward to doing a great job for you. Thank you. So here's the atrium. It's going to be real hard to see, but again, we got one window, two windows, and then the door I'm standing in off of the master that needs to be trimmed. But again, here you can see that colonial roughs on that just needs to be painted, and then our fascia and our drip edge that needs to continue here in this opening. But that's pretty much the atrium here, and you can see that's the Hardie trim is not here. It's just a wood trim. So we'll put, and you can see the paint was not done very well. It's showing through. But this will all be painted in here, and two windows and a door would be trimmed. And again, this is the atrium on the right side of the home off of the master bedroom.